And here we are, round one, whoever that may be. I didn't mention earlier, but this is an 8-4 Return to Ravnica draft. Obviously, it's Return to Ravnica. You may not have guessed that it was an 8-4. So we're just waiting now for them to decide whether or not they want to play first or let me play first. And the general consensus is that it is correct to play first, and I agree with that in almost all instances. It's very rare that you're going to have a deck that wants to draw the extra card rather than just have the early tempo advantage. Especially with our aggressive deck here, we definitely want to play. If I had something more control-y that had a very, very good game of stabilizing very early, then I would be tempted to draw the extra card. It's also a decent way to help fix your mana, and something decent to talk about to fill airtime while our opponent decides whether or not he is going to show up. So, a minute and a half into it, and I definitely doubt that we are seriously in contention for winning this based on a no-show. It is possible. I have no-showed before myself, and it's not a fantastic feeling. But sometimes you're drafting quite late, and you fall asleep. Right now it is 1:52 a.m., and I am just starting round one of an 8-4, for example. Although I feel quite well rested, and don't think I am really in danger of falling asleep here, despite how boring my opponent is being. So, yes, I suppose this would be a decent time to tell a story. But I don't really have any. So last Sunday was the PTQ on Moto. 660 players in it, and I had all my fix was in different colors from my bombs. I had all my bombs were in Golgari. I had a Baraska. I had a lot less troll. It was a very solid deck, but it didn't really have any fix. It didn't have pack rats, and I failed to get there. I won my first round, and I had a couple of terrible matches after that, and dropped after 1-2 in order to get some sleep, since that started at 7 a.m. But there is an advantage to that in that I was eliminated by 9:30 a.m., leaving me basically the entirety of my Sunday off. So there's a trade-off to do. I prefer playing in real-life PTQs to Moto PTQs, and I have 2 more left in this season that I could attend. There is the second Seattle one, and there's the Vancouver one, actually, located in Burnaby. I will be attending both of those. December 1st is Seattle, and December 15th is Burnaby at my home store of Stronghold. And I'm looking forward to that. The lower attendance in the real-life PTQs definitely helps out. I have more experience playing real-life Magic than I do playing on Moto here. 5 minutes, huh? Wow. This is really putting on a show for you guys here. Huh. I can definitely see people's frustration with this format. Pack rats being involved in the sealed being very difficult to beat once you untap with it. I mean, there are other cards that are very difficult to beat once you untap with them. Niv Mizzet and Mercurial Chemistry come to mind, but those are 5-drop and a 6-drop, whereas Pack Rats is a not very color-intensive 2-drop. Once you hit your 3 mana, you have a very simple game plan of just unloading as many cards as you can as fast as possible to make more Pack Rats. Very few things in the format can deal with that. There is that Wrath, the Azorius colored Wrath that's uncounterable. And you'll have to forgive me for my memory when it comes to names of cards. I'm absolutely terrible at that. Oh, hey, my opponent showed up. Oh, this is going to be fun. Would I like to mulligan to 6 cards? No, I am missing my red, but it's not really significant right now. I do have a Grim Roustabout, and any land will allow me to play that into Cryptborn Horror. And if I do get my red, Splatterthug into Cryptborn Horror has the potential of making me a very big horror. So that is horror, not whore, just to clarify. So I will not mulligan. And I have plenty of free time here on the clock, thanks to my opponent. Okay, so I've drawn Tenement Crasher. Doesn't do anything, so we will F6 through the turn. Back over to him. F6 right back to me. We are playing against an Izzet player, Electromancer. We saw a few of those in the draft. Play Swamp. Get this Roustabout out there. We are starting to get a little stuck on lands, but I see no reason not to unleash him, especially considering that we have Cryptborn Horror in our arsenal coming up. So he will be unleashed, and we will send the turn back to our opponent, who will likely attack past our unleashed guy, who can't block. And we're going to take the first damage, going down to 18. And we get a Dagger Drone Imp there. We have drawn a Swamp, so we could play Cryptborn Horror. He's not likely to block there. And we get a 2/2 out of it. It's also possible to wait a little bit longer. Mind Rot him now. And get 2 of his 4 cards. Now, either way, the first thing we do is attack with Grim Roustabout. And that's generally the first start to any plan, is to make your attacks. Unless there's something that really changes what your attacks are going to be. Generally there isn't. Usually you're going to want to attack as aggressively as possible. Now he's only got 3 lands out here, so a Mind Rot would possibly strip him of lands that he needs and maybe make him keep higher drops. And I think we do just want to wait until we can get in, maybe if we're lucky, with something like Cobble Brute, Tenement Crasher, or Jailbreaker before we play out the Horror. So, I mean, it is a bit of a gamble. Maybe our Roustabout won't be able to get through later on, and we will not have the luxury of getting this Horror out. But we do. So, Roustabout and Mountain hit the dirt. He's hit his land drop. He will be swinging in for 3, going back up to 19 himself, and then we'll see what he does post-combat. Gutter Snipe, very good card. We have hit a mountain. That's very good. We're going to go in with our Roustabout. And he doesn't block, as we would expect. Now, what we're going to want to do here, we could play the Splatter Thug and get ready to be quite aggressive and play a much larger Cryptborn Horror. Would most likely end up being a 5/5, but we wouldn't get to block anything. We would go down 5 more to go down to 10. We could play an Ogre Jailbreaker, which would stop him from attacking for now. And sort of stop the bleeding. I think what we want to do is bring out the Splatter Thug. And just try and make sure that we can hit him as early as possible, get a large Cryptborn Horror. Now that may even have been incorrect to unleash it. Having a blocker here could be quite useful. And we're not sure if he has the that red sorcery for 4 where you untap and gain control of the creature, gets +2/+0, and gets to attack. Like I said, terrible with card names. But I'm sure a great many of you know what card I'm talking about. So I take my 5 here, going down to 10, and he doesn't do anything. So he may have the Annihilating Fire that we saw, which could be a bit frustrating. We get rid of our Splatter Thug, but well, that's useful. He could have the Is It Colored counterspell, which would really be frustrating against our Cryptborn Horror. So, it's sort of interesting to wonder whether it'd be worth playing around that. If I were to play the Jailbreaker or the Cobble Brute into that, it would deal 4 to me, and I would then go down to 1 with him having a flyer. So I really doubt that there is any decent way to play around it with the hand I've got now, so I think I just lay out the Horror and hope for the best. That's very good. Very good. He did not have that counterspell. Yeah, that counterspell, it deals damage to the spell's controller equal to its converted mana cost. So, well, that kills me. That's nice. Okay. That's fantastic.